After the last game that I showed you between Morphy and Brian, I was asked what is a gambit and what is the use of sacrificing a pawn immediately in the beginning. So I will first demonstrate a few of the most important gambits in chess opening. Then I will show you a game between world champion Bobby Fischer, some 10 years before he became a world champion, playing against a very strong American player. And it will also demonstrate the Evans gambit that I was showing last time. So first, what is a gambit? A gambit is a word that English borrowed from Italian, and actually it means to trip someone with the leg. So the idea of the gambit is to put the opponent in a position that he may not know, and if you are well versed with the intricacies of the opening in the gambit you chose, you played, you may well trip him in one of the opening mistakes, and you may win a very fast game. Of course, if he's good enough and knows the work, you may also lose because you sacrifice the pawn or more. So here is this chessboard, and I will show you some opening gambit. First, the king gambit. This is the moves of the king gambit. It's named king gambit because we offer a pawn in the king's side. Normally, black takes the gambit, the pawn, and after whites continue to develop, he may protect the pawn, he may do some other moves. These are the first few moves of the gambit. The same exists in the queen side, d4, d5, c4. These are the first moves of the queen gambit. And if black takes the pawn, it's queen gambit accepted. White will get the pawn back very quickly. But black can also play e6, decline the gambit, or maybe c6. He can choose whatever he wants. And this is queen gambit declined. Other well-known gambits are the Latvian gambit, f5 in the beginning, or bishop c4, knight f6, the two knights opening, where white attacks the f7 pawn, black protects, white gives a check, and remains with one pawn ahead. He had to retreat because the bishop was attacked. Now black continue to attack the knight, to harass the knight. There are several options to do this. Now white has to protect the knight because the knight can go. There is nowhere that the knight can go. And black can take the pawn en passant, and white takes it back. Now you see, for one pawn, black has 5 pawns, white has 6. Black pieces are much more developed. He has the lines open. He can attack the white position, but he's with one pawn less, and the position of the pawn is not so good. Still, it's a fight. This is about the gambits, and now I will show you the game between Robert James Fischer, age 20, really very, very strong player, already in 1963, 9 years before he became the world champion, and is playing against Reuben Fine, who is one of the best American players in the first half of the 20th century. He actually retired from being a professional chess player in the 40s, so 15 years before the game was played, but he's a well-known grandmaster, very strong player. Let's see how Fischer will handle the game. So we open with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, and b4, like the former game, the Evans Gambit, and black accept the pawn. White continues with c3, black retreats, white develops another pawn to grab the center, and blacks accept it. Now white is castling. So look at the position. Black has two pieces developed. All the other pieces are still in the beginning place. Now he has a decision to make. Should he take the third pawn at c3 or develop a piece? Certainly developing a piece is better, because to grab the third pawn is really dangerous. I can say dangerous because even that he got 3 pawns more, it's not so easy to protect this position. White develops his queen, attacks the f7 pawn. He can also take back the c3, because now also the knight and also the queen attack the pawn, and only the bishop protects it. Black has to protect the pawn. The only possible move, playing knight f6, knight h6, protecting the pawn, is no good, because white will immediately take the knight and get a better position, so it's not a good idea. Would be queen to f6, also protecting the pawn, but black chose to play queen e7. White immediately takes the pawn, and now a sensible move would be to exchange the bishop for the knight, remain with 2 more pawns, and then develop maybe the knight to f6. Black changed the order of the moves and developed first the knight, but now the other knight, the knight that should be taken, will attack the queen at e7. So the knight can take the knight, pawn takes the knight. Now this knight is attacked, and the knight comes to e5. White exchanges the knights and attacks the queen with bishop to b2. Look at the pair of the bishops. White bishop attack this diagonal, the other bishop attack this diagonal, and now not only attacking the queen, but also the pawn at g7, that the queen is on the same diagonal. So now the queen could return to e7, but then there is the danger of the rooks on the same line. The bishop is protecting the e1 square, but still it's dangerous. Black decided to go to g5, attacking the pawn, defending the pawn, and keeping an eye on this diagonal. White attacks the queen with h4, actually deflecting the queen. Black takes the pawn. What is the alternative? If he would go to g4, white can go to a3, or rook f1, rook e1 even. Very bad position. Taking the rook is no big help, because now the king can go to both sides. If king decides to go to d8, queen e3 wins the game immediately, because I threat chess, chessmate. If the black queen takes the pawn and defends the e7 square, I will take this g7, and this will be similar to what happened in the game. For example, d6, bishop takes, then there is the threat of queen e8 mate. It's the end. Black decides on taking the pawn. So bishop takes the pawn on g7, threatening the rook. The rook comes to g8. Now rook to e1. There are two possible moves. The king can go to d8 as in the game, or the bishop can take the rook. Then the rook will take the bishop. Now again, king to d8, and I go to the same square as in the game. The queen has nowhere to go, because everywhere she will be taken, or it will be a mate. To any move like queen h5, this is a mate, because the rook attacks this e1 to e8 line, and the bishop attacks the king, of course. And if the queen takes queen, it's the same mate. So nothing can be done. So in the game, bishop took, rook came to e1, the king came to d8, and after queen g3, black resigned. This is an amazing game, and one that Fischer was so proud that he put it in his book, the 60 memorable games. He published this book before he became a world champion. It was published in 1969, and this is one of the books that I like very much, because he was decent enough to include also losses. He analyzed very thoroughly also the win and also the losses, and was objective in his analysis. And this is one of the reasons that he became a world champion, because he analyzed his game so deeply. So I hope that you enjoyed the game and the explanation about the Gambit. And of course, if you have any questions, you may ask whatever you want, and I will try to answer. Goodbye.